Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're actually going to be looking at Dynex Coin. So we're going to be covering a bunch of stuff that I've found out about Dynex Coin and talking about Dynex Coin in general, just because I've made a couple videos on it in the past. I know I've talked about its profitability, how to mine it, dual mining it with certain coins, and I actually want to come back to something that I didn't really finish off in terms of making a video on, but this was this Dynex Coin discussion. So this was more about how Dynex Coin worked because I couldn't really find out much information on the coin. And then we had a live stream, I believe it was just before this, so around 4 months ago, talking about Dynex Coin. Now, in terms of what I wanted to talk about, mostly is Dynex Coin a scam? Because I've seen people on the Dynex Coin Reddit like this post that says, help me understand this project. Well, I visited the website and browsed through the both white papers and I still don't get it. I've had that come up with a lot of people that they don't actually understand what Dynex Coin is, how it mines, how it works, or what it actually can do in terms of, technology. Then goes on to say, when reading the white papers, I feel like there's a huge gap, left unintentionally or not, concerning the actual gist of the project. And there's a great deal of completely unrelated information. The mes resistor stuff and neuromorphic buzzwords are nice, but what's that got to do with it? My traditional inefficient computer has no mes resistor in it, only good old silicon. Transistor is the main building block of logical gates in today's computing, not capacitor/resistors or whatever they're using in Dynex Coin. So they always talk about this mem resistor model in the Dynex Coin white paper. As we can see here, when we're going over to the Dynex Coin white paper, they talk about a mem resistor here. A mem resistor is an electrical component that limits or regulates the flow of electrical current in a circuit and remembers the amount of charge that has previously flowed through it. So that's what they're talking about when they talk about a mem resistor. I don't actually understand what that is either. So this is why I had some qualms about actually looking at Dynex Coin for mining. I didn't really understand how it worked, but obviously it's profitable. So I just said, oh, it's profitable. You guys should probably mine it if it's profitable. There's not really much of a scam aspect to it if it is profitable. And then it goes on to say, and does this mean that mining software will be running some kind of mem resistor emulation on my machine to build this neuromorphic chip thing? Because not even a distributed virtual machine does this. Tries to emulate a smallest microscopic hardware unit to build a system with it from the ground up. This will just make no sense. It's a good science project, but a terrible distributed computer. It's all written at high level language, so why bring the mem resistor concept into this at all? The website is full of words like proprietary, this and that, and I suppose this means we won't show you exactly how it's working. Frankly speaking, it all sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo. Basically, any blockchain can be called a decentralized supercomputer network, which is capable of performing computations at unprecedented speeds and efficiency. So they always talk about that in the Dynex Home website, I believe. If we just scroll down, it talks about the speed and efficiency of DynexSolve and what it can do in terms of the technology. So there wasn't actually any comments left on this, so I thought I'd make this video about Dynex Coin. So one of the main points that I made in this Dynex Coin discussion video around 3 months ago was that they didn't show any jobs on the network because they had talked about it in the Discord, I believe, but didn't actually talk about where the jobs came from or who they were coming from. Now they updated the computer website since that video to show these jobs, but they still aren't showing where these jobs are coming from in terms of what companies are actually going to provide this Dynex, who's actually given up the block reward for this. It shows who's mined it, but it doesn't show who's actually giving it out. Now, I believe on their roadmap, they are going to update it so that you can see who's giving the jobs out. However, right now, when you click on this part of it, it just shows how to buy, Dynex Coin and then allow the marketplace to solve the problem for you. So I think it's all in-house stuff that they've allowed to be on the network from this place on. And as you can see on this roadmap that I was talking about in 2023, they have Compute and Power Marketplace, so the Dynex Market, which should be a place where we can see who's ordering these tasks on the network, because I know Dynex Coin has been having tasks, and obviously people have got rewards as we can see here, but it would be nice to know who they come from, if they were real or not, because the Dynex team could just be buying Dynex Coin and offering it as a rewards just to prop up the mining rewards so more people stayed on the network. Now, one thing that I want to say about Dynex Coin overall, it's actually a technology company. And we see this a lot with cryptocurrency. People use cryptocurrency networks to basically prop up their technology company. So Dynex Coin is built upon the proof of useful work model, and their main technology is allowing people to, I guess, run simulations through the DynexCoin website. And we've seen examples of this. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech for showing off the ways that you can use DynexCoin to solve problems. He's just got a rig of A2000s here, and he's using it to solve a SAT problem, which is like a yearly problem which is given to problem solvers, I guess, in the technology space. So running certain simulations, how quickly they can do the simulation, and DynexCoin, the technology behind it, is actually really quick. So my main point was that this is actually a technology company, and then on top of it, to gain the power for the network, is the cryptocurrency aspect and the blockchain aspect of it. So as I was going to say, we see this a lot in cryptocurrency, where technology companies will actually divert over to cryptocurrency to gain funding and to gain a network of, useful participants on the network to gain more exposure and stuff like this. There are other cryptocurrencies that aren't like that, such as, Casper is not a technology company, it's more of a currency, because the whole point of the Rust update and the DAGNite is to increase blocks per second and the throughput of the network. DynexCoin is not really that focused on the throughput or anything in terms of speed on the network. They're more focused on performing operations on the network and performing tasks. After reading all the white papers, though, I don't really understand still how DynexCoin works. It'd be great if some people could leave some comments and truly get down to the bottom of it. Like, is this mem resistor actually simulated onto the chip, or are they using hardware within the GPU to open these mem resistors? I'm really not sure about that. And then lastly, there was some speculation or some kind of rumors, I guess, around DynexCoin. And I actually got this DM around, I want to say February time. So that was when I made that first video here discussing DynexCoin, who was behind it. And there's been some rumors that says here, well, the rumor goes that Daniel Mattis is the CEO of Dynex. Now, I'm not saying that it's a scam, okay? I'm just making you aware of these rumors, and you can make your own decision from there. I know this is just some random DM, so I can't really put much reputable sources on it. And then it says AKA and then that name, so that's the name that's used for all the DynexCoin Discords and all the interviews. Now, people are saying that maybe because the person in the DynexCoin interviews, if you go onto the DynexCoin YouTube channel, you'll find interviews here of their AMAs from their live streams, and the person in it, as you can see there, is Sumitomo, or however you pronounce that. And apparently this is Daniel Mattis, who's actually a person who's had past previous run-ins with the SEC, something about how they were rug pulling a lot of cryptocurrencies or something like that. And then he's just linked me an article that talks about Daniel Mattis paying $7 million to settle SEC fraud lawsuit. And one of the main things that people were saying in these rumors was that this person doesn't want to show their face, and their voice kind of sounds the same as this Daniel Mattis person. Now, I can't hold any validity to that, and I wouldn't really go as far to say just because they're not showing their face doesn't mean that they are trying to hide something, because Satoshi Nakamoto, who created Bitcoin, didn't want to show his face, and he's created the biggest cryptocurrency in the world, so I can't really say that people should show their face, but it adds more validity to a project if you can put a face on it. Now, actually, I want to talk about this tweet that they made around a month ago. It was replied to Minersum's video talking about the red flags of DynexCoin, and that it was in relation to the owner. And I just found it very unprofessional. I don't know if they're just going on the offensive because Minersum made the video and it was wrong, or that it was right and they're just trying to go on the defensive of that side. I'm not really making any assumptions here, but I thought it was very unprofessional that they would go onto Twitter and say something about creators creating videos about them. They shouldn't really get involved in this stuff, as it's basically nothing to them. They should just be focusing on, their brand, and it doesn't look very good if they have this tweet up. So this video was about red flags on DynexCoin. And then they said in a reply, and here we go, already the second example of Minersum publishing not properly researched content and jumping to wrong conclusions. Everyone spending a few minutes on Dynex knows that DynexSolve was introduced on December 1st after a trial period with optimal proof of useful work. Hence the impact on hash rate. Really tired of such journalism. So obviously you're going to have challenges and being asked questions if you're a cryptocurrency. And I do understand that Dynex Coin is primarily a technology company instead of a cryptocurrency. They are trying to push for proof of useful work and trying to show people how you can use just hash rate and these GPUs to actually solve real world problems. That's the main goal of Dynex Coin. It's not exactly for speed or throughput or to be a fully fledged currency in that sense. However, it's more about the technology of the company. So that's just my 2 cents on it. If anyone could help me understand, how Dynex Coin actually works on a DynexSolve level, in terms of how the mining actually works, how it's using your GPU as a mem resistor, or how it's using your GPU to simulate something that other computing software companies can't do, that would be much appreciated. And if you have any other opinions on the video, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll try answer them and try give you my feedback on them.